Hello? Please state your name, identity, and the purpose of your visit. Oh, except you, Toma. You must be new here. Excuse me? Please provide the information requested, and also declare any goods you are carrying with you. Currently, only members of the International Trade Association are authorized to engage in the import and export of goods. Do you have your trader's permits? My apologies, but I'll have to ask you to...
Here are their entry papers, for your kind perusal.
What? Take your time. No rush or anything.
I just wanted to see what you'd say. Sorry about that.
I see. Okay. Your papers are all in order. Welcome to Rito.
So, where do we go next?
The Outlander Affairs Agency. They only check entry permits here. If you want to remain on Rito, there's a process you have to go through with them.
Sheesh. So it is super strict, just like everyone says.
Well, let's not forget that to everyday folk in Inazuma, people from everywhere else are referred to as outsiders. As the word suggests, Outlanders aren't very welcome in Inazuma with the Sakoku Decree in force. Not even on Rito, where they've established an outsider settlement. I like how you think. I've got a feeling we're going to get along very well. Now, let's head over to the Outlander Affairs Agency. Most of the current rules were put in place by the administration of Rito, the Kanjo Commission.
The Kanjo Commission?
Yes, one branch of the Tri-Commission of Inazuma, responsible for growing and managing the nation's wealth. You really haven't heard
Bonjour
of
à
it before?
toi. C'est Bvlé. Bonjour à toi. Ryuaki-BATW.
You've completed the entry procedures, yes? And now you want to apply for residency? Both of you?
Yes, please.
Okay, the processing fee will be 2 million mora.
2 million? For a processing fee? Are you serious?
That's right. 1 million per applicant, which makes 2 million total. Don't worry, you can trust my math.
Paimon wasn't so much questioning your math as...
Ma'am, these two here are good friends of mine. I think you'll find I'm one face you recognize.
Ah, Mr. Toma, it's you. By way of courtesy, allow me to reduce it to 400,000 mora total.
Thank you ever so much, Miss Eureka. But as this is just a processing fee, I think 600 mora should cover it if I'm paying on their behalf. I'll treat you to dinner too. How does that sound?
That's not how you haggle! By all means, bargain the price down, but...
All right then, as you wish, Mr. Toma. I will make a record.
Much obliged.
What? She went from 2 million down to 600? There's something seriously wrong with people's sense of finance around here!
It's not as mind-boggling as you think. A processing fee is just a figure of speech. The way some here at the agency see it, the fees are easy money, so it becomes a question of how much they can make. So when the day comes that some poor merchant from overseas with more money than sense gets stuck here and needs to apply for residency...
Then they'll milk them for all they're worth.
Exactly. It's at times like this that having a local friend really comes in handy. Yes, but when you're an outlander in Inazuma, far from home in this close nation era, there's very little that can be done about it. The most that overseas merchants can do to look after themselves is stick together. That's how the International Trade Association came about.
So it's a trade association built by and for Outlanders?
Yep. And as well as advancing commercial interests, the association provides help, support, and structure for Outlanders trying to survive on Rito. Essentially, it's an association devoted to both commercial excellence and survival skills.
Sounds like just staying alive is an achievement when you're an Outlander in Inazuma.
I see. So this is the real purpose of your trip. Yes, given that you are Outlanders, it's certainly a lofty aspiration. After all, the Raiden Shogun is the most exalted and revered one in all of Inazuma. She is a deity who reigns on high, while all other life gazes up in awe. Huh. I was going to say nothing is set in stone when it comes to who you will encounter in this world. Who's to say you won't happen to run into the Raiden Shogun one day after lunch?
Uh-huh. And is that likely?
Okay, I'll give it to you straight. I know of a way to introduce you to the Raiden Shogun.
Really? Wow! The Rito Fixer is better connected than we thought.
I mean, it will take all the resources I have at my disposal, but it could be done. However, before we get there, connections come at a high price, you understand?
Not you too.
No. In this instance, when I say price, I'm not talking about Mora. In fact, there's no real cost as such. It's just that if this is something you really want, you'll have to agree to help other people solve some of their problems first. I like to do things in a way that keeps everybody happy. It's my own personal rule for dealing with situations like this.
Sounds very reasonable to Paimon. You're the man in the middle, so you have to trade favors to keep everyone indebted to you.
Why do I get the feeling you're making me out to be some sort of crook? Never mind. Here's the situation. As I touched upon earlier, the members of the International Trade Association are constantly struggling to survive. Recently, things seem to have gotten more difficult than ever for them, so just go and check things out. See if there's any way you can help. The head of the association is called Caricio, and he's a good friend of mine. Go talk to him. I'll wait for you here.
Why in the world can't I use my permit?
Huh? Hello there. You must be seeking refuge with the International Trade Association. The Outlander Affairs Agency took you for all you're worth, I suppose. Good. That's a relief. You need to be careful, or you'll find yourself losing your savings all at once.
We heard the association has been having some difficulties lately. Is that true?
Yes. Left, right, and center. Obstacles at every turn. But that's nothing new for us.
The Sakoku Decree certainly makes things difficult for anyone who wants to come here from overseas.
But it's not the root cause of our woes. The Sakoku Decree might restrict our scope of activity, But in and of itself, it doesn't stop us from being able to enjoy a comfortable existence. No. What's really squeezing us Outlander merchants dry is those Mora grubbers from the Conjo Commission.
Oh, of the 3 commissions, that's the one that oversees everything on retail, isn't it?
That's right. They impose astronomical tax rate, unbelievable regulations, and that's not the worst of it. They just issued a new tax decree recently that, for some reason, completely changes the way we pay our taxes. It used to be Mora, but now it's something called Crystal Marrow.
Crystal Marrow? What's that?
Ugh, something that most of us in the association had never heard of before either, until the new decree came along. Eventually, one of the older Liyue merchants recalled that he once shipped a batch of it to Snezhnaya in his youth. So, in order to pay our taxes, we began an arduous search for this crystal marrow. But then we found we'd only managed to create a bigger problem for ourselves. The rising demand for crystal marrow drove the price higher and higher. Now there's only one vendor who even has it in stock. We can't get a hold of it anywhere else.
Isn't that what they call a monopoly?
Exactly. So this vendor keeps pushing the price up, and we have no choice but to buy from them because the tax decree forces us to. It's a vicious cycle, the consequence of which is that our taxes will soon exceed our profits. And once that happens... We've tried communicating with the Commission directly. But this is a nation where the cries of a few struggling merchants will never be heard over the ever-present roar of thunder. Fontaine, my dear homeland. I miss you an awful lot at the moment.
Sounds awful. They're really bleeding them dry. What do you think we should do? But Karisa's the head of the association, and even he hasn't had any luck. Not to mention, we're Outlanders too.
Right. And besides, I think this may well be the fate they've ordained for us.
Okay. Well, we could try tackling the problem by going to the other party involved.
That vendor... I've actually done business with him in the past, but after a point he stopped contacting us. I have no idea where he sources the stuff.
Well, it definitely sounds like he's being unfair. How do we find him? We could go talk to him and see if he lets anything slip.
Hey, that's a pretty good idea. Since you're not affiliated with the association and you're new to Rito, he may just let his guard down. If I remember correctly, our usual meeting point with him is under a tree by the coast in the residential district. See if you can find him there.